Hey, gun people. Well, I don't know. Kind of on the fence on this one. There's pros and cons. I'm going to try and give you both sides. You can make your own decision. Shit, you're all adults. You don't need government or me telling you what you need to think. But I'm going to give you a little both sides here on why I'm a little bit on the fence on this. So, this mom is defending her son because her son made a statement on a video game that he was going to go shoot up the school. And she defends him, which all moms defend everybody. So let's listen to what NBC says about this.
Making a threat to cause a mass shooting.
This newly released body camera video shows the moment when a 15-year-old Florida boy was arrested for allegedly threatening to shoot up his school. Authorities say he made the threat in a video game chat room, saying he planned to bring his father's M15 to school and kill 7 people at a minimum. He's now facing charges in juvenile court, his stunned mother telling police it was just a joke.
He's still a little boy, and he's not one of the crazy people out there doing stuff.
Said by every parent since the beginning of time. It's not my child, it's those other children. And then the other children's parents that do it say, it wasn't his fault, it was the drugs, it was the schools, it was the police. Well, she blames other people too in the video. But NBC kind of shows some other risks where they're going around, which will get me to my point about, is this the thought police, and is this the age of thought crime?
We can't take risks, and we can't say, all right, we trust that this one guy's not going to do it, and then it happens, and then we say, well, we had the chance.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, this is not my son.
Another sign of zero tolerance coming into Indianapolis, where police tracked down truck driver Thomas Matthew McVicker after a friend claimed he was planning to shoot up a church in Memphis, Tennessee.
That's a pretty good friend. I'd like to know the background behind this. Was the friend an ex-girlfriend?
And in Fresno, California, police arrested a 15-year-old girl, accusing her of posting this image on Snapchat, a photo of guns for sale, and the message, "Don't come to school tomorrow."
Okay, so you post a picture. I don't even know if that's a real gun. That looks like a BB gun. So she posts a picture saying don't come to school tomorrow. And she's got smiley and frown and different faces. Is that a threat? I mean, there's a lot of people that say, absolutely, Rick, you shouldn't be able to post that. You shouldn't be able to say that. People should be able to arrest you if you say that. Look, tyranny is easy. Freedom is hard. All countries that are tyranny, they make it look easy because you have government who can control the people through force. They take the guns. They take away the ability to have freedom. They take away the people's ability to defend themselves, so they have to depend on the government, and then the government has all the power to choose when they defend them and when they don't, and when they abuse their authority and when they don't. And the government can't be checked because they're the only one with the guns. So freedom isn't easy. Tyranny is this thought police. Is this girl committing a crime when she says this? Rick, you're supporting this. You're crazy. You're one of those right. Look, I'm just telling you. Where do we draw the line between common sense and judging things individually versus passing mass laws like red flags laws? Like, this is a red flag. Oh, she posted this. This is kind of a red flag. And I think government probably should contact her at a minimum. But I don't know if there ought to be automatic law, automatic arrest, automatic felony charges, automatically in the juvenile system, automatically now the government has gotten in your life and can never get out. I'm not so sure on this. I'd have to know more.
Police say she admitted posting it, but couldn't explain why. The school superintendent is now warning students.
Oh, yeah, big deal. Superintendent's going to tell everybody. Let's listen to this video of this mom a little bit here. Okay, let's listen to mom's excuses and justification, and if you catch it, she's going to say, playing the single mom victim card, it's not my fault I ran my husband off or picked a guy that I didn't want to be with or just had a guy and ran him off because I wouldn't let him discipline my child. It's not, none of that's my fault. It's the man's fault that left, and it's just me and him. I'm a single mom, and I love him, and we're very close. Listen to the message this single mom sends and wonder why this kid is doing what he's doing.
Okay. I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people.
Okay. First of all, the audio, I can't get it to turn up. It's as high as it'll go. So don't come here yelling at me for turning the audio down. It's a low audio video.
And Falcon Warrior 920? Who's that? Okay. Go ahead and turn around. Put your hands on your back. He's under arrest currently for making a threat to cause a mass shooting /
So let me give these cops a little props here, so I can get all the people that come here and say I'm always hating on cops. I think these cops did a pretty good job of handling it. They didn't come guns drawn. They didn't take everybody down at gunpoint. They didn't treat this as a felony stop and a felony arrest and a dangerous person. They did what I would call proportional response to, hey, this kid made a statement. Let's go talk to him. Let's figure out what's going on, and then we'll make our decision. And they knew they were going to arrest him, but you notice the cops aren't. There's 3 cops there because you're looking at another cop's body cam. So there's 3 cops there. They handle this pretty good. They don't have their guns out. They're not drawing down on them. They're not being tyrannical. The guy's explaining well. He's letting the mother give her bullshit, justification. And I think the cops did a pretty good job at the way they handled this.
act of terror.
Cause a mass shooting?
Yes. He made a statement, a threat, a written threat to plan or to carry out a mass shooting.
But he's just a little kid playing a video.
He's 15, and he's just a little kid. These people, these women who run around and program these kids that they're still kids at 15 have never been to a country like Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, some of these other countries where kids are carrying guns at 9 and 10. They're actually fighting and killing at 9, 10, 11 years old. And this woman, well, he's just a kid, he's 15. That's why the kid has never had a responsibility in his life. Rick, you can't judge her. You don't know anything about... She could be a good mom. You're right, I don't. But I've dealt with parents like this my entire life as a cop, and I'm telling you, parents like this destroy kids. They don't hold them accountable. There's no man to grab this kid by the throat and go, are you being freaking stupid? I'm going to knock the shit out of you for doing something like this. You don't threaten people with a gun. This is serious. Maybe this kid wouldn't have done this had he had somebody else. Instead, he's had this mom here making excuses about her poor little baby being all nice and sweet. And I love him, and we're close, and love solves everything. And we just need government protecting us from the real bad guys, not my child, because he would never do this. Women always have an excuse to have government come in and protect, and they don't realize they give away freedoms, and they create tyrannical government for their future children when they grow up.
And all these kids keep getting arrested, and that's why the FBI and the local law enforcement is spending so much time, because how do we know he's not going to be the kid from Parkland? He's not going to be the next kid, the kid that shot up Sandy Hook. We don't know that. So when you draw the attention to you by making these statements as they may be jokes, I mean, I wouldn't expect the kid to go, yeah, I'm dead serious, I'm going to go shoot everybody up. No, when they're caught, it's a joke. I didn't mean it, it's a joke. That's when you're caught.
But these games, these kids say stuff like that all the time. It is a joke to them. It's a game.
Kids say that stuff all the time. I don't think I've ever heard a kid ever say he's going to go shoot up a school to me. I've never heard a kid tell me that. And I've worked with kids and law enforcement my entire adult life. And I've never heard a kid say that to me or had a kid tell me that. Now, granted, we're in different times and it happens more, and on these video games they comment, but is this preempting crime? Is this, if this guy, let's say this kid was writing a book, and he wrote this statement in a book, would it be a crime? Well, no, Rick, it's just a book. Okay. So if he writes it online, it's a crime, but if he writes it in a book, it isn't. Do you see the dilemma and the tentacles of government that get into predicting crime and being able to arrest people for speech? But Rick, the Supreme Court said all speech isn't free speech. You can't yell fire in a crowded building. Correct, because it can induce panic because people react to that. This kid made it on a video game. He didn't make it to the school. He didn't make it to school authorities. I mean, Should they investigate it? Yeah, I think they should. Should it be an automatic arrest? I don't know. Should they seize the mom's guns out of the house? No, I don't think they should. But man, it's inch by inch how government gets more power to get into people's lives in the name of we have to protect you. Even though we know they don't protect us against real crime, they're letting criminals out of jail and bail out of jail on gun crimes, and they go out and kill people. And then they blame the gun. So government isn't about protecting us where they can. They're about getting more laws and more into our lives and coming up with more reasons on why people shouldn't have guns. This cop asked her if she has a gun.
Guess what my time in law enforcement is spent doing? Is arresting these kids for making these statements all the time, and for...
If your time of law enforcement is running around arresting kids for making statements like this all the time, then we got a problem. In my book.
For stopping acts, too, as well.
Okay.
So, that's what our job is.
This guy's important. He's got 2 phones. You see that?
Is to make contact, because these kids think it is a game or a joke, so they go ahead and make these comments.
But it's just a comment, so how is there an
There's
arrest?
a Florida state statute that says you cannot make a written threat to cause a mass shooting.
Okay, Mom had a good point. It's just a comment. Can you arrest somebody for a comment? Well, evidently there's a law in this town. I don't know what town or the law specifically. I'd have to get into the law, the legal system on how the law was written and is it credible? And how specific does he need to be? Or can it be general? Or can any threat that even be perceived as a threat, you can be charged with a felony? I don't know what the law says, but there's a slippery slope. And I know I'm going to get some people here that are saying, Rick, with all the mass shootings, this guy should go to jail forever. I don't know if you should ruin a kid's life for being stupid on a video game. I mean, I'm just not into that, I guess.
Shooting, act, or kill, or harm anybody else. Legislature has chosen to do that.
Well, he didn't cause or act or do anything, though.
He made the statement too.
It's a written statement. It's a written statement.
So Mom's just going to defend this. No matter what you come up with, you're never going to get to convince a parent that their child is wrong. Which always kills me about parents that always want to go, well, if you don't have kids, you don't understand. Or do you have kids? They always want to ask, do you have kids before you enforce the law? Like that matters. Like somehow because you can have sex and a kid pops out, it makes you somehow smart and knowledgeable and better than people, and people that don't have kids can't understand you because suddenly you get all this knowledge. It's like cops saying, well, are you a cop? Then you can't judge a cop. You can't say when a cop's wrong. That's BS. Any idiot can judge something without being, closely related to it. People know right and wrong. Parents, somehow, kids are never freaking wrong. It's the most annoying thing in the world.
It's a written threat to kill or to make a mass shooting or act of terror. So if I get on there and say, I pledge ISIS and I'm going to blow everybody up, that's the same charge as, you know what, man, I'm fed up. I'm going to go to school tomorrow and shoot up my school. So he'll be going to DJJ.
What's that?
The juvenile jail. He'll be placed in there for several days.
So in those 3 days, he will make new contacts with hardened criminals. He will learn new tools to talk on the internet without being seen. He will be able to share his views about shooting up the school with other people who are violent that will tell him advice if he really wants to do it. I mean, putting somebody in juvenile hall for days is BS to me. If you want to arrest him and charge him, release him to his parent, that's one thing. But are you locking him up because you're doing a public service? Or are you locking him up punitive that you're going to convict him before he's ever had a trial? Or are you doing this because it's policy?
And we're going to go from there. The charge is a felony. It might be a second or third degree. I have to double check because a written threat to harm somebody is a third degree felony. Second degree is when you involve a mass shooting at a school or an act of
He's a
terrorism.
little boy. He
He's a
didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he's 15, but he's still a little boy, and he's not one of the crazy people out there.
He's just a little boy. He's not one of the crazy people. Said by every mom before their kid did it.
Doing stuff.
Okay, well, he did what he did.
Yeah,
And-
but he shouldn't be treated as though he is a terrorist or something.
He shouldn't be treated. He made a terrorist threat. He threatened to go shoot up a school. I know people are going to say I'm being wishy-washy here. Look, this is a tough call for me because I see how government abuses power and authority, and I see how government gets their fingers in families and kids, and once they get in, you can't get them out, and they all do it under the ruse of public safety. We have to protect you. National security. When in fact, they don't care about national security. They got open damn borders. And they don't care about protecting you because they run around and shooting people left and right, and they have the right by the Supreme Court that they don't even have a duty to protect you. And yet they want to take away your ability to protect yourself, and then they want to get in this. This is just one of those things that there's a lot of sides that I'm just not clear on, or I don't have a good, clear opinion, I guess.
Because he made a silly statement on a stupid video game.
Well, in a world where schools and kids are going to school to learn and are getting shot and killed because people...
I understand that, but at the same token, I mean, you have to look at things case by case, too. I mean, he's not that person.
Do you own a gun?
I have a gun, yes.
Okay, so he has hands and feet. He can grab your gun and go do something.
All right, so right there, this cop is making the thing that, you know what? If you didn't have a gun, then maybe we would be okay with this. But since you have a gun, it's more serious. And there's a little bit of validity to that. I mean, the kid said, I'm going to grab my parents' gun or my dad's gun, whatever his comment was, and go shoot up the school. And now he has access to a gun. That leads what we call credibility to the statement. Not only did he make the statement, but there is a gun available to him, and he actually have access to a gun. If he made a statement, I'm going to grab my mom's bazooka and some grenades and go to the school and blow up the school, and mom didn't have a bazooka or grenades, now we're like, okay, the kid's talking smack. He doesn't even have the stuff. You know, so there's ways to kind of evaluate this, good and bad.
He would never do anything like that anyway.
We don't know. We don't know.
No, but I know. And I know.
Most parents have it, ma'am. We're going to take him. He's going to go to our operations center.
So now this mom knows what her kid's going to do. Damn, if all parents knew what their kids were going to do, we wouldn't have any teen crime, would we? Rick, you're just being mean because you don't... Be quiet, you big...
And we will go from there, but this is where we're at. This is the world we live in, where people think it's funny to say, I'm going to go kill people at school.
Well, he's not people. He's a child.
Okay.
There's a difference. He's playing a video game and he's a boy.
And that's why he'll be charged as a juvenile.
Unfortunately, these days and age, this is what happens. Kids get on these things and they say this, and parents say, it's not my son, and then it might not be your son, but
I know it's not my son.
Somebody's son does, and then this is the world we're in, where kids are getting shot at school while they're trying to learn, and
I
kids are getting
understand that.
shot in
I
buildings.
understand that. I understand
Unfortunately,
that.
we can't take risks, and we can't say, all right, we trust that this guy's not going to do it, and then it happens, and then we say, well, we had the chance
Yeah,
to
but
stop
I'm
it.
telling you right now, this is not my son. My son and I are like this, and it's just us. It always has been, and it's not my son. He's a little boy still.
It's a tough
Playing
situation.
a stupid game, and he
I
happens
know
to
you're
be
emotional.
just high intellect and smart mouth.
Well, that's
And
what
you
got
know
him
what?
caught up.
The grown-ups on these games goad them into these things, which is what happened.
Oh, the adults in the games goat these kids. So it's not my fault for letting him play these games where I know adults are going to goat him. It's not my fault for allowing the video game and not monitoring. It's not my fault at all. Me and my kid is close, and my kid wouldn't do this. And I know because we're close, and it's the adult's fault, and it's the video game's fault, and it's the police's fault, and it's everybody's fault but me because I'm a single mom, and we all know all single moms are perfect.
You need a roof over your head, food, and water. He doesn't need the game. You should probably
That's right, he doesn't.
You should take those away because these adults that are influencing may have done that in the past, but guess what? They're not in trouble today. He is because he made those statements. We can't put on what they've said in the past to give him justification why he said what he said, ma'am. Yeah. He made the charge. He's going to face the consequences. Right?
Okay, so the cop kind of finally had enough and went, look, I'm going to tell you how it is. He was nicer than I would have been. I'd have been talking to her like I'm talking to you. Look, I don't want to hear this crap. Every time I go to every parent says their kid's great. Had you been monitoring this, he wouldn't have said it. Had you got him off the video game, he wouldn't have said it. If you know adults are on there goading him, then you should have took action. So this is just as much your fault as it is his. He's going to juvie. He's getting arrested for a felony, and I'm going to let the juvenile judge court figure it out, and then you can go tell your story to him. Because right now I have a felony. I'm mandated, or I don't think that he can not arrest even if he wants to. I think a felony with people in danger, cops lose the option, and I'm sure the law says shall arrest. It doesn't say could or may arrest. But we'll see how it works out. You can beat me up in the comments or agree or disagree. We can all have an opinion. This is just a tough case. I'm not really on either side of the fence on this one. I'm pretty much waddled in the fence. We'll end that there.